There's only a few games that we go out and buy before we play them, and this was one of them, mostly because there was tons of hype about it. We'd been seeing it for like a year.
To be honest, it was mostly because there weren't anything to rent. We went to rent it first.
Yeah, we did go to rent it. Alright, so this is another one made by EA. It looks like it was actually completely made by EA. It wasn't a developer that they purchased.
Or it's a small enough developer that they can completely overshadow them.
The story was really cool. We went into it because of the multiplayer. If the name didn't give it away, I don't know what would. But the story ended up being pretty neat. It was kind of short, kind of sick and sadistic in a couple of spots, but it was pretty nifty. I like the concept of being one of the Blackwater-style mercenary kind of agents. It was neat.
Yeah, but I don't know what Blackwater's doing wrong, because these private mercenary people can get shot like 400 times, and it only takes 2 of them to wipe out the entire nation of Afghanistan. It's kind of impressive.
You just gotta wipe them out from a distance, because the melee in this game, it's the most unpredictable thing on the planet.
Yeah, melee, you run up and you're pressing the melee button, which is the
same thing as shooting.
Which is, yeah, kind of weird, and then it's literally you're like rolling the dice. They should have a dice roll on screen, because either you headbutt them in the face with your crazy luchador mask, or they like trip you up and kick you in the balls. It's kind of, you never know.
This is one of those games where it's a shooter. It's a third-person shooter, kind of like Gears of War. And if you've ever played Gears of War, you're gonna notice a lot of similarity.
There's no roadie run,
but there's no sprint. Oh my god! But it's got the whole collectibles to flush it out, and our favorite thing, I think, is improving your weapons over time.
You
customizing and
put on silencers or better barrels and
better stocks, better magazines.
You can literally pimp it out. It's called pimping it out. You get gold plated or silver plated or something. It's just looks really cool. And Robert pimped out like all 3 of his weapons. He's just like shining like the sun with all his.
And what it does is it causes you to get more of what they call aggro, which is basically more attention of the enemy. Makes sense, and that's a system that is really heavily used in this.
Well, I haven't seen anything about the aggro system. If you ever played on the massively multiplayer style role-playing games where one tank or whatever focuses the mob's attention and everyone else can attack them with impunity, that's kind of what they were going for here. It wasn't that simple. If someone had aggro, you weren't guaranteed that if you walk up and start shooting the guy, they weren't going to pay attention. So it wasn't that cheesy, but it was kind of cool that you could sneak up on them.
Yeah.
You could overpower, and there's actually one guy like can't squat, can't hide. He's just raging and can smash people's heads.
And the other one's completely invisible.
Can't even see him, and it works that way in regular multiplayer too. It's kind of annoying. The person, I think, if you catch them like at the right angle, you can see them, but they can just sneak up and like start kicking you if they get their melee to work.
And one of the times you have to use that is on the many heavily armored troops that you can only kill by shooting them from behind.
They're kind of like you, actually. They just take a billion hits and kind of don't worry about it.
The bosses are like that, too. And every
except for the last one. The very last one was really retarded.
Yeah, it was terrible. And the last boss, not to give away too much of the story or anything, but it's this guy that you're talking about the whole time, and he's just a really sick, sadistic, to use that phrase again, just retard. I can't understand how he got where he was. It was just creepy.
Well,
but
it takes a certain kind of person to do the kind of stuff.
That's true. We're kind of sick, sadistic losers too. I mean, the whole time we're fist bumping after killing tons of people.
Yeah, Penny Arcade really nailed that one. You go through and you kill an entire room full of people and
there's blood everywhere, and you're like, yeah, go team!
You're awesome.
All right, so we talked about the multiplayer real quick, and so I'll delve into it because that's really what this game is all about. Everything that you can do in the main game, you do in the multiplayer. You play as a team of 2 versus a team of 2, trying to complete goals.
You can actually play as a team of 2 on the same Xbox. You can play split screen against another team of 2, which is awesome.
And your second player doesn't have to have a live account.
I can't remember if that's ever been done before.
Yeah, that was really neat.
Robert actually doesn't have a live account.
Because I'm a loser.
Covered that. But he could sign on as a guest, and we could play unranked matches. So we couldn't, get any score or complete any achievements. We could still have a heck of a lot of fun.
And since for the first time we're almost even, half and half, on good things versus bad things, let me mention one of the most stupid things I've ever seen in a game. 2 people have to open every door. I mean, every one is designed specifically for 2 people, even the armored ones.
And not just doors. Every action just about that you take requires someone to either flip a switch on the other side of the map so you can do it, or you go to flip it and you're sitting there with your hand on it, waiting for the other person to come on and put their hand on it. And then the two of you somehow
and there's always a cutscene.
Operate, yeah, and it like takes you out of the game, and you have this little cutscene. Sometimes it's cute, like I kept tripping Robert. Apparently I'm a bully.
Punch him in the head or something. But anyway, it was a good game. I'm glad we went and bought it.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep playing it.
It wasn't the best game I've ever played. It wasn't quite what all the hype made it out to be. But it was still
want Gears of War 2.
I would take that over Army of Two. Sorry, guys. As far as the rating, since that's what we're supposed to do, we got it right around 4.
Yeah, somewhere in the range of 4, approximately 4, tilde 4,
something like that. I can't really think of too much else, so let's head back to Lag. See you guys.
I wonder if anyone heard Taft I am in you.
Probably not.